咁但係如果有幸地你睇到呢段片而你睇到呢度嘅話，我就想話俾你聽，有福了。
你還要繼續聽落去嗎？
喂，咁多位大家好，我係梁 Sir，嚟到2025年卷2丙部微生物學嘅 Part B 題目啦。今次嘅主題咧係有關於整乳酪嘅。嗜熱鏈球菌同埋乳桿菌咧都係製造乳酪發酵咧常用嘅兩種細菌嚟嘅。咁喺發酵過程當中啦，牛奶中嘅乳糖啦就會轉化做乳酸嘅。嗱，咁當然啦，今次其實牽涉咧有兩大個嘅過程咧，係核心課題係有教到嘅。第一就係消化。因為乳糖啦係由半乳糖 galactose 同埋 glucose 葡萄糖合埋而成嘅，係咪？咁所以啦，首先啲細菌就梗係要將佢消化咗先啦，然後啦再製造乳酸，咁即係咩啊？乳酸發酵 lactic acid fermentation 係同我哋嘅 anaerobic respiration 缺氧呼吸咧係有關聯嘅。不過今次呢條題目咧就冇特別去問你。就如果佢揾1-2分去問下你相關嘅題目，咁得唔得啦？係絕對可以嘅。咁所以啦，當我哋做卷2嘅題目嘅時候咧，都不忘咧去溫下卷1嘅概念喎。咁而家啦，我哋個實驗咧就係分別將呢兩種細菌單獨去培養，呢個叫純培養啦，或者啦共同去培養一齊養佢啊，就叫做 co-culture 啦。就接種喺個牛奶當中，即係掉落個奶嗰度養佢啦。然後啦，再利用呢個圖布平反法咧，去測量翻每種細菌嘅種群增長啊。所以啦，我哋就見到下面呢一幅圖啦，4條曲線嘅，2條實線咧就係單獨培養嘅，2條虛線咧就係一齊培養嘅。咁啊，始終啦，佢哋係兩款菌嚟噶嘛，所以一齊培養嘅時候咧，佢哋嘅數量嘅變化咧，我哋都用翻2條曲線咧去表達嘅。咁而家入題目啦噃，參考圖1去建議一下乳酪發酵嘅時候咧，呢兩種細菌之間嘅關係。然後啦，利用證據咧去支持你嘅答案。咁唔使審啦，今次要考我哋嘅技能啊，就係數據分析啦，用數據作為證據去支持你嗰個建議嚇，呢個 suggest。咁呢個建議係咩意思話？就係利用生物學嘅原理知識去解釋一啲生物學嘅現象嘅。咁今次嘅現象就係呢一幅圖咯，就有個咁樣嘅數據表達咗出嚟俾你睇啦。而去考我哋嘅概念就係講緊呢兩隻細菌之間嘅關係。其實係同咩嘅課題有關係啊？就係生態系統咯，係咪？咁我哋睇下個圖表先啦。首先睇2條實線，嗱，大家起點咧都係一樣嘅。然後啦，1個鐘、2個鐘、3個鐘、4個鐘，隨住時間過去，咁啊嗜熱嘅鏈球菌咧就係能夠升到呢一度嘅嚇。咁呢個係嗜熱鏈球菌啦。下面三角形嘅咧就係呢個乳桿菌，咁佢都有所提升嘅，就係呢度升到上嚟呢個位。跟住啦，就嚟睇下一齊養嘅情況咯。一齊養嘅時候咧，你見得到啦，綠色又好，呢個紫色、粉色都好咧，都係上升嘅。而上升嘅幅度咧，亦都比起當初自己養嘅時候咧，係為之高嘅。所以啦，睇完呢個圖表，我哋有個好關鍵嘅概念咧，我哋要知道嘅混合培養嘅種群數量係比起單獨培養嘅種群數量嘅增幅咧，係為之再高一啲嘅，對不對？綠色呢條曲線嘅最高點係高過佢本身呢條實線呢個藍色呢個位，紅色呢度啦。佢亦都比起單獨培養嘅時候咧，亦都較為高嘅。所以啦，我哋喺個圖表當中揾到嘅證據就係，當呢兩款菌共同培養嘅時候，佢嘅生長速度係比各自純培養嘅時候係為之快嘅。我哋見唔到嗰啲咩一升一跌啊，又或者嗰啲好似暴食嘅關係咧，啊2條曲線喺度追逐對方啊，我仲要追逐緊嘅時候咧，另一個又跌，另一個又升，我哋睇唔到一個咁樣嘅情況。所以啦，而最緊要就係大家一齊養嘅時候，比起單獨養，佢出嚟個種群數量仲要高咗添。所以啦，佢哋應該係互相得益、互利共生嘅一個關係嚟嘅。咁過往咧，其實都有唔少呢一啲生態互動嘅題目嘅。14年、20年就係考大家生態互動嘅圖表咯，真係俾幅圖你睇啦，嗰2條曲線上上落落，邊個追邊個， 唔用圖表嘅就用文字演繹啦。阿 A 生物咧就做呢樣嘢，阿 B 生物就做嗰樣嘢。咁呢兩隻生物佢哋嘅生態互動係一個咩嘅關係啊？甚至乎啦，蘇格蘭嘅生物科課程咧，其實都係問類似嘅嘢㗎。我去問啦，我做完 CE 啦，又做完 A Level 啦，做完 DSE 啦，我仲有嘢想做喎，做咩好咧？咁書本嘅練習當然可以啦。咁其實你可以做下 SQA 啊、GCE 啊、GCSE 啊，其實啲題目咧都絕對啱用嘅喎。然後啦，去到第二部分啦，又係睇翻第一幅圖咯，就要我哋去比較一下共同培養，即係一齊養呢兩款細菌啦，佢哋嘅族群增長嘅趨勢。嗱，首先啦，比較叫做完整比較啦，記得翻嗰啲句式咯。阿 A 係咁，但是阿 B 就係咁，一句過嘅。又或者啦，阿 A 同阿 B 都係咁。而今次啦，我哋主要睇咧，其實都係不同啦，因為啦呢兩條嘅曲線嗱，當然啦係上升嘅，題目都講咗係上升噶啦。咁所以你話兩條線都上升，咁啊冇乜嘢特別好講啦，係咪？佢哋上升應該有啲分別嘅。而今次啦，考我哋嘅圖表閱讀嘅能力咧，就係考界 curve。喺呢4個鐘入面，有冇邊一個嘅時段我哋可以界落去，而令到呢兩條曲線係有得比較一下嘅咧？咁作為趨勢啦，睇頭尾或者中間有啲咩特別嘅變化咧，其實就已經可以噶啦。咁過往啦，有冇類似嘅題目咧？其實之前都解過一條題目嘅，甲部嘅 1B。嗰條咧就係問體溫嘅，就係話啦參考翻嗰幅圖表啦，就指出翻呢兩組人咧喺恢復期間平均體溫顯示嘅兩個差異。喺呢條題目文字上佢冇講到個體溫係下降嘅，咁即係你要講啦，係嘛？咁下降嘅時候啦，幾時下降啊？下降嘅速率係如何啊？改變嘅幅度即係下降嘅幅度又如何啊？其實你都可以講嘅。不過今次啦，題目咧係講到明係增長嘅趨勢。咁即係啦，第一佢講咗俾你聽係上升嘅。第二啦，佢今次講嘅咧係個趨勢，即係話啦，就唔係特別要你講嘛，究竟佢哋上升咗幾多啊？個差異係幾多啊？冇咁空泛。咁所以啦，站喺邊度啊？就站喺第3個鐘。第3個鐘係點樣嚟嘅咧？就係因為啦，我哋睇翻乳桿菌嗰條曲線，你就會明白噶啦。咁我就先講咗嗜熱鏈球菌先啦。喺呢整4個鐘。嗜熱鏈球菌嘅種群數量係持續咁增加，你唔好淨係講增加，係持續咁增加，趨勢嚟噶嘛，係咪？如果你淨係講增加嘅，咪純粹就係講種群數量嘅變化啫，係嘛？而家講到明嘅增加，咁增加得嚟啦，原來係持續咁增加，由0到1個鐘升咗，1到2個鐘又升咗，2到3個鐘都係升咗，3到4個鐘都係升咗，雖然。1同2就好似升得快啲，雖然啦頭2個鐘咧就好似升幅係快啲啦，係咪？咁尾嗰2個鐘咧就好似慢啲，但係啦持續上升就係持續咁上升啦，對不對？但係啦，係嘛？記緊咯，同一句說話咯。但係啦，乳桿菌咧喺頭3個鐘咧，其實佢嗰個種群數量冇乜點變㗎喎，係嘛 ？More or less the same。又或者啦 relatively constant， 相對上咧係穩定不變嘅喺頭3個鐘，而去到第3到第4個鐘咧，佢就開始上升啦。呢個就係界 curve 嘅意思啦。好多圖表咧，你就有嗰個概念噶啦。其實就好似以前我哋學煤嗰課啫嘛，係咪？由低溫上到去最適當溫度 optimum temperature 係嘛？然後啦，再高溫啲過埋個最適當嘅溫度啦。咁嗰個 EMSI 嘅個酶嘅反應咧就向下跌咯。咁你界邊度啊？咪界最高點咯，係咪？睇得多圖表你就會明白噶啦。嗱，咁今次咧佢就問翻個增長嘅趨勢啦。咁如果下次啦條題目再簡單啲，就純粹要你比較一下呢兩款細菌一齊養嘅時候個種群嘅變化，種群數量嘅變化，佢都冇話增長咯，淨係講變化啫。亦都冇講趨勢喎，咁你有好多嘢可以講嘅。嗱，大家都係上升啦，呢個係相似點嚟嘅。咁但係有冇啲咩唔同啊？就係話啦，綠色呢一個嗜熱鏈球菌，佢再上升嘅時候啦，喂，大家本身嘅起點一樣嘅喎。你咪見到嗜熱鏈球菌咧，佢個升嘅幅度係咪勁啲啊？ 係嘛？相比起乳桿菌。第二啦，升嘅速度其實都係高過佢嘅喎，無時無刻都係高過佢嘅喎，係咪又可以講啊？咁所以啦，你要去描述一個圖表咧，咁呢三個比較嘅條件咧，我希望大家係慢慢培養到個意識去學一學嘅。跟住啦，去到第三部分咯，同一個實驗咧，我哋就唔係淨止去量度翻嗰個細菌嘅種群數量嘅變化嘅，我哋都記錄緊個培養物，即係個酸鹼值嘅變化。咁我哋下面啦就有一幅圖啦，同埋一個表格嘅。第二幅圖咧就想顯示翻，隨住時間過去啦，究竟嗰個酸鹼值有咩變化咧？嗜熱鏈球菌啦，咁啊本身啦6.6開始啦，我當跟住4個鐘之後啦，就大約跌到落6啦。跟住啦，乳桿菌咧初頭又係6.6啦，跟住啦就跌到落去6.5啦。跟住啦一齊養嘅時候咧，咁啊又跌咯，跌就跌到落去大約可能5.9啦。跟住啦就去到呢個表格啦，就顯示翻咧嗜熱鏈球菌同埋乳桿菌佢哋嘅最適當嘅酸鹼值係乜嘢咯？嗜熱鏈球菌大約6.5啦，而乳桿菌咧大約5.5到6.3，咁即係話啦，原來乳桿菌咧佢需要一個較為酸性嘅環境，先會生活得快快樂樂、開開心心嘅。咁而家題目咧就叫我哋啦，利用翻第二幅圖啦，同埋呢個表格嘅資訊啦，解釋一下第一幅圖，將呢兩款細菌一齊養嘅時候，乳桿菌嘅生長情況。嗱，我唔使講晒兩款，我淨係講乳桿菌啫。咁即係話嗜熱鏈球菌咧，其實都有嘢講嘅，不過佢唔問你啫，係咪？咁我哋就嚟睇一睇咯。閱讀圖表梗噶啦，第一樣嘢提翻大家先。第一幅圖俾我哋嘅有咩啟示咧？嗜熱鏈球菌嘅種群數量其實率先增加嘅，係嘛？持續增加噶嘛？係咪？由第一個鐘開始已經升咗啦，2、3、4其實都係升緊嘅。然後啦，乳桿菌咧大約第3個鐘咧先開始升，係咪？咁因為感覺上好似有個先後嘅概念啊。然後啦，我哋就嚟睇一個思考邏輯啦。首先咧，我哋就要觀察下個培養物喺頭3個鐘個酸鹼值嘅變化，其實都係界 curve。係咪？咁界喺邊度啊？係第3個鐘咯，係咪？你會發現咧，純粹去養呢個嗜熱鏈球菌，同埋共同培養兩隻菌嘅時候咧，其實佢嗰兩條曲線啊，係嘛？你會發現啊，共同培養嗰條曲線咧，係同單獨養嗜熱鏈球菌嗰條曲線咧，其實嗰個趨勢係相似嘅，大家都係跌到落去6或者係5.9一個咁樣嘅水平。咁所以我哋就會知道。嗜熱鏈球菌喺頭3個鐘當佢成長啊，做緊發酵嘅時候咧，其實就導致到個培養液即係個牛奶啦嘅酸鹼值係下降嘅。下降咗之後啦，我哋就睇下咯。呢個表格講咩話？就係乳桿菌佢需要一個較為酸性嘅環境先佢最適合啊嘛，最開心最快樂啊嘛，係咪？我哋就諗下啦，究竟呢個酸鹼值嘅變化下降咗、酸咗，去到5.9係咪？佢對於呢個乳桿菌嘅成長又有冇咩影響咧？原來啦，呢個變酸咗嘅環境係對於乳桿菌咧係更加適合佢去成長嘅，對不對？所以啦，我哋就能夠聯繫到呢兩種細菌嘅種群數量增加嘅趨勢啦。所以乳桿菌就喺大約第3個鐘開始咧，個數量咧就再增加得更加多啦。嗱，如果單靠佢自己啊嚇，乳桿菌佢自己，佢會唔會做發酵先？梗係會啦。咁但係啦，佢係要相對上長啲嘅時間咧，先能夠將個酸鹼值降低啲，係咪啊？嗱，就算單獨自己養佢咧，都係去到6.5啫。但係佢最適當嘅酸鹼值係6.3啊嘛，係咪應該再低多少少啊？即係要等多1個鐘定係2個鐘噶咯？咁而家唔同啦，你睇下一齊養嘅時候，去第3個鐘佢升不特止喎。仲比起單獨自己養嘅時候，係咪升得更加高啊？呢個發現係我哋頭先已經知道咗噶啦嘛，係咪？好啦，我哋就有一個咁樣嘅概念咯。而當中有一樣嘢咧，喺呢條題目冇問噶吓，陣間我會解翻俾大家聽嘅。其實你會見得到咧，單獨培養嗜熱鏈球菌嘅時候咧，其實去到第3、第4個鐘咧，佢個升幅其實都好微嘅。但係一齊養嘅時候咧，其實佢係會上升緊嘅。你又望下呢幅圖啊！嗱，明明啦，個酸鹼值咧再跌落去咧，其實已經係離開咗佢嘅最適當酸鹼值噶啦。佢最適當嘅酸鹼值係6.5啊嘛。但係啦，佢慢慢搞下咧，嗜熱鏈球菌係會搞到個培養物變咗做 pH 6噶喎。 喂，咁咪即係酸個頭咯，對佢可能唔係咁好嘅喎。你大約見得到啊，係喎，其實真係唔一定係咁好嘅喎，因為雖然啊，好似有啲升幅嘅，但係呢個升幅其實真係好少。但係一齊養嘅時候咧，佢真係做得好咗喎。你見到佢啦，係咪升得更加高啊？係咪？咁所以更加確認得到咧，我哋第一部分講嘅互利共生嘅關係，係咪？嗱，明明示熱鏈球菌嚟到呢度唔一定做得咁好噶喎，咁點解而家可以再高啲啊？陣間我就解釋埋俾你聽啦。然後啦，去到第四部分，除咗呢個實驗所用嘅圖布平反法之外，你可唔可以簡述多另一款可以用於估算培養物個活菌種群數量嘅方法咧？其實又係講緊點樣去估算啊，或者去數得到啊個活細胞嘅步驟啦。我哋方法就學咗好多嘅。例如啦，我哋上一條講沙門氏菌嘅就學咗呢個 optical method 啦，係咪？又係呢個光學嘅方法，用翻個 spectrophotometer 去睇下嗰個樣本嘅混濁程度或者所謂嘅光學密度啦，係咪？咁而今次啦，我哋想知道嘅咩話係活菌嘅種群數量。咁你會發現得到啦，其餘嗰啲咧嗱，大家都係估噶啦，生嘅死嘅，生嘅死嘅，生嘅死嘅。咁唯獨就係啦，喂，我想要生㗎。咁我哋有咩辦法可以做得到啊？咁首先啦，加染料啦，將啲細菌，我唔理生定死嘅染咗先，然後啦，擺喺個顯微鏡下面啦，利用翻呢個血球計數板啊，去計算翻活定係死啦。咁當然活同死就睇下佢喐唔喐啦，係咪？你冇得問佢噶嘛？喂，你死咗未啊你？咁所以啦，都係數下，然後估算嘅啫。呢幅圖啦，不厭其煩啦，如果講下啦，你真係要數嘅話咧，左手邊同埋上邊呢一條線有細菌搭住嘅話咧。我哋係照數嘅，但係喺同一格入面咧，右邊同埋下面呢一啲擲住咗搭線嘅咧，我哋係唔數佢住嘅，我哋淨係數剩低呢一啲嘅啫。喂，咁死啦！咁呢三隻咁幾時先數啊？當我數緊隔離嚇右手邊呢一格嘅時候啦，兩隻菌咪就係屬於呢一隻格嘅左手邊咯，係咪？嗰陣時我咪可以數翻咯。或者我數下面呢一格嘅時候啦。咁呢一隻細菌咪就係屬於呢一格嘅上面咯，我都可以數得翻佢㗎。因為啦，如果我數首先第一格呢度，我又數埋呢三隻，然後隔離呢度又數埋佢哋呢兩隻，跟住呢度又數埋呢一隻，咁我重複計咗佢哋兩次㗎咯喎。咁自不然個數字都唔夠準啦，即係估已經唔準㗎啦，你仲要數錯，咪更加唔準啦，係咪？咁呢一樣嘢大家要留意啦。題目咧就解完啦。有多一樣嘢想同大家講下嘅，就係呢兩款細菌，我哋喺第一部分就話佢哋係互利共生啊嘛，係咪？喂，咁究竟啦，佢哋點樣共生法啊？點解我哋從呢個題目當中，從個酸鹼值嘅改變咧，我哋會知得到原來示熱鏈球菌點解會為乳桿菌帶嚟益處咧？係因為啦，當示熱鏈球菌率先進行乳酸發酵，令到培養物嘅酸鹼值下降，從而就激活咗乳桿菌。咁但係乳桿菌點樣報答示熱鏈球菌啊？咁啊呢條題目咧係冇講到嘅，咁我姑且又同大家講一講啦。原來啦，乳桿菌咧佢有一款特別嘅酶啦，可以消化到牛奶入面某一款嘅蛋白質，從而啦就釋放咗當中某一款特定嘅氨基酸。而呢款特別嘅氨基酸咧係對示熱鏈球菌係零舍有用嘅。本身示熱鏈球菌拆解蛋白質嘅某款酶啦，可能係冇咁有效啦。又或者啦，對於個酸鹼值底下咧，佢未必做得咁好嘅，未必啦獲得到咁充足嘅養分啊。咁但係啦，加埋個乳桿菌就唔同啦。你對我好，我對你都咁好，所以啦，呢個就係大家互相得益嘅概念咯。根據呢個概念咧，有多一樣嘢大家可以諗下喎。其實下次我咪唔用酸鹼值呢個數字咯。我用另一個嘅數字就係量度下，哎呀，原來咧呢個培養物啊量度某款氨基酸嘅水平，我見到呢款氨基酸咧係慢慢變多嘅喎，係積聚咗嘅喎，而呢一樣嘢題目可以俾多一個資料嚟，呢款氨基酸係對於示熱鏈球菌係有益處嘅。嗱，只要佢咁樣講，成件事咪通晒咯。又或者佢同你講。呢個示熱鏈球菌嘅某款酶，去到一個咁相對上酸性嘅環境咧，就做唔到嘢噶啦。不過乳桿菌可以幫到佢喎，係咪有充足資料俾你做到一個邏輯嘅推論啊？所以啦，當你做題目嘅時候咧，個腦咧活下，等你知得到啊，原來咧，如果佢真係想咁問， 係可以問得出㗎。嚟到最尾咧，我有一樣嘢想提下大家嘅，其實當我哋去做卷二嘅時候咧，雖然唔係個個同學咧都會讀呢一個嘅選修單元啦，咁但係呢一課嘅題目係咪完全唔關你事咧？咁其實我都有諗嘅，我拍呢一段其實其他同學會唔會睇到咧？係咪可能你哋冇睇到嘅？咁啊，因為你都冇讀呢個單元，你咪唔會睇呢段片噶啦，係咪？咁但係如果有幸地你睇到呢段片，而你睇到呢度嘅話，我就想話俾你聽，有福了，因為做卷二真係可以幫到你做卷一嘅。也許你唔係全部嘅分題你都識得做，不過其餘嘅部分你一定識得做。所以啦，卷二嘅題目咧係對於温卷一啊、練習卷一啊一個好好嘅材料嚟嘅。咁而家啦，左邊係 A 題，右邊係 B 題。其實咁多個分題當中，我想講有幾多分真真正正係屬於呢一個單元嘅硬知識咧？其實只係得兩部分。第一個部分係 Part A 嘅第二部分，比較瑣事嘅數據。咁首先你要明白乜嘢叫做 optical density 嗰個光密度，因為你唔理解嗰個光密度嘅原理，你未必答得到呢一條嘅。當然啦，你可以估下，你都會估到嘅呢4分。同埋啦 Part B 嘅第4部分就係講除咗徒步平板法之外，仲有冇另一啲方法可以估算到培養物入面活菌族群數量嘅方法？呢啲都係屬於呢一課嘅硬知識。成個單元係20分，20分入面得6分屬於呢一課讀翻嚟嘅嘢，其餘嗰啲都係一啲實驗嘅技巧啊、數據分析嘅技巧啊、實驗設計嘅技巧啊，諸如此類。咁所以啦，20分當中有14分，其實你係應該有能力去答得到嘅。咁所以哪怕你冇讀到呢個單元咧，你都即管可以試一試去做下嘅。咁有咩問題咧？喺留言區問翻，盡快答翻你。下條片再見啦，拜拜。Hello student, I'm Mr. Liang. In this video, we are going to talk about the 2025 Paper 2 Section C Microbiology Part B question. And the main theme is about the yogurt fermentation. We are going to study two bacteria. One of them is a S. thermophilus. It means they like a warm environment. And for the second bacteria, you can see the terms lacto. It means the milk. They are two bacteria commonly used together for yogurt fermentation. So in the fermentation process, lactose in the milk is converted to the lactic acid. So from this statement, there are two physiological processes we learn it in the core topic. One is the digestion. Lactose is made up of galactose and the glucose. Therefore, the lactose must be digested into the simple sugar, the monosaccharide, and then the monosaccharide, they are used for the fermentation, which is the lactic acid fermentation. Surely it's related to the anaerobic respiration. However, for this question, it doesn't ask you that much about these two processes, but you know that maybe next time it can ask you such questions, maybe 1 mark, maybe 2 marks. In an experiment, the milk is used to culture these two bacteria separately, pure culture, or together, co-culture. Then the population growth of each type of bacteria in terms of the colony forming unit per ml CFU was measured by spread plate method. And you can see the two solid curve, which show the bacteria S pure culture and the bacteria L for the pure culture. And then you will see another two dotted curve for these two bacteria's co-culture together. So let's take a look in part 1. With reference to graph 1, suggest the relationship between the two bacteria in the yogurt fermentation and support your answer with evidence. Surely it's checking us the skills, data analysis. We need to use the data as evidence and suggest something. What does it mean suggest? In last question, I tell you that suggest, it means we use the biological principle, we use the biological knowledge to explain a certain biological phenomenon. And what is the biological principle we are going to use? It's about the relationship between the two bacteria. Which chapter did we learn it? We learn it from the ecosystem topic, right? Predation, mutualism, competition, and so on. And now let's take a look at the graph 1. So for the two solid curve, you can see that they start at the same point, and then after 4 hours, you can see the population growth for the bacteria S and for the bacteria L. And then for the two curve for the co-culture, bacteria S and bacteria L, you can see that after 4 hours, population is much higher than that from the pure culture, right? So the critical concept is that increase the population in the co-culture compared with the pure culture. And then we can see that both of the bacteria grow faster in co-culture than alone in pure culture. So what is the relationship between them? Can we see that one curve going up, one curve going down, or one curve less behind another one? We don't see it. Therefore, they are beneficial to each other, which is mutualistic relationship, mutualism. In the past, there were different questions. They give you the graph, and then you need to draw the conclusion about the ecological interaction. Other than the graph, they can give you a paragraph to describe or what do they do, or organism A, or what does it do, organism B, what does it do, and then what is the relationship between them. Is also a very common question, not just for the DSE, but also for the SQA, which is examination from Scotland. They share the very similar question type. So after you do the question from CD, from A level or DSE, or even some question from the textbook, you can do some exam type question from the SQA or GCE or GCSE. And then for part 2, with reference to graph 1, compare the trend of the population growth of the two bacteria in co-culture. Surely, skills checking, complete comparison. A is something something, while or but B is something something. You would like to talk about the similarity. Both A and B are something something something. And in this question, we focus on the difference between these two curves, because we can see that for both of them, they are increasing. The question already told you that they are increasing. Therefore, we do not talk about the similarity. Both these two curves are increasing. So we do not need to talk about it. So we need to talk about what is the difference of this increasing trend. For the graph reading skills, we need to know how to cut the curve. So for these 4 hours, at which time we can cut the curve and then see the difference between these two increasing population growth curve. In 2025 paper 2 question 1b, we have a very similar question. With reference to the above graph, state two differences shown in the mean body temperature of the two groups during the recovery period. This question is a bit general because it doesn't mention the change of the mean body temperature. Is it dropping or increasing? So actually in this question it's dropping, and then we need to talk about that. The beginning of the change, or when does the body temperature drop? What is the rate of the change compared? Which one is higher, which one is lower, or the magnitude of the change? So in this question, let's see any limitation or any guidelines help us to answer the question. The trend of the population growth of the two bacteria. In this question, it already tells you that it's growing, increasing, right? And then for the trend, we are not just talking about the change, we are talking about the trend. Therefore, the criterion for the comparison is the trend of the population growth. We can cut the curve at the 3rd hour. First part, we can see that the population of the bacteria S increased throughout the 4 hours. However, but the population of the bacteria L remains more or less constant or relatively constant in the first 3 hours, and then increase from the 3rd hour onwards. So that's what we can see. The population continuously increases in these 4 hours, continuously. But for the bacteria L, you can see two different sections, first 3 hours and then the last 1 hour. That's the technique. How can we analyze the curve? And then for part 3, in the same experiment, the changes in the pH of the culture were recorded. we did not only collect the data about the population growth, but also the pH value changes. So we got the graph 2. You can see that both of the solid line, they are the pure culture, bacteria L and then bacteria S. And then we see the dotted line, which is the co-culture of the two bacteria. All of these three curves, the pH value, it drops, right? But just the magnitude is a bit different. For the bacteria L, for the pH, it drops from maybe 6.6 to 6.5. But for the bacteria S, the pH drops from 6.5 to around pH 6. And for the co-culture, it drops even to maybe 5.9. And then for the table, we can find the optimum pH for the bacteria S and bacteria L, which is 6.5 and 5.8 to 6.3 respectively. And then the question asks us that, using the information from graph 2 and the table, explain the growth of the bacteria L in the co-culture in graph 1. So for this question, surely graph reading. We recap the idea quickly. The population of the bacteria S increases first, and then the population of the bacteria L increases. So you can see that bacteria S comes first, and then bacteria L comes later. So what is the relationship between that? What is the thinking logic? First of all, we need to observe the change of the pH value in the first 3 hours, and then we can see that the trend of the change of the pH values in the bacteria S pure culture and co-culture of the two bacteria is similar. You can see that these two curves are much closer, right? So we can know that the growth of the bacteria S in the first 3 hours has led to a drop in pH in the culture. And then we need to realize the effect of the pH on the growth of the bacteria L according to the table, because the question is asking about the growth of the bacteria L, because the pH value drops to maybe around 5.9. So we can see that the growth conditions became more suitable to the growth of the bacteria L. So, and then we can relate the trend of the population increase of the both bacteria, particularly the bacteria L. Therefore, population of the bacteria L increased. So what about the bacteria S? In this question, it did not ask you, but I can tell you later on, because there is something strange we have not yet explained. For the bacteria S, you can see that in the pure culture, for the last 2 hours, the population, it doesn't grow that much. And then that's what we can find in the graph 2. Because for the bacteria S, when they are growing and doing the fermentation, so the pH value drops to maybe 6. But you can see that for the optimum pH of the bacteria S is 6.5. It means that it's not that suitable for the bacteria S to grow. But does it kill all of them? Maybe or maybe not. We can't tell, to be or not to be.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
However, we can confirm that pH 6 may not be that suitable for the bacteria S. We just know about it, right? However, when they grow together in this co-culture curve, you can see that for the population of the bacteria S, it can increase during 3rd and 4th hours. That's something strange we have not yet covered, and I will tell you very, very soon. For the last part 4, apart from the spread plate method used in this experiment, briefly describe another method that can be used to estimate the population of the living bacteria in the cultures. So for the skills checking, procedures of live cell counting. So in this chapter, we learn a lot of methods. See that we take the viable cell count, because for other estimation, it includes the living and dead cell, living and dead cell. But only this is about the living cells. So we may use the dye to distinct the live or dead bacteria cells in the culture, and then count the live or dead bacteria cells under the microscope. So for this case, just one reminder for you. Remember, when we are counting this whole square, what about we find the bacteria or the cell lying on the left and top edge? We still count them. But for the right and the bottom edge, we do not count them. So you may think that, oh, Mr. Leung, so we count less bacteria. No. Because when we are counting this big square, we can count this left edge bacteria. Or when we are counting this big square, this bacterium or these cells are on the top edge, so I can still count for it in order to prevent the double count. After we talk about the questions, it's time to make a comprehensive explanation for the mutualism, the relationship between bacteria S and bacteria L. Question, we have graph 1, graph 2, particularly graph 2, it shows the pH value changes along these 4 hours. So we can conclude that bacteria S, and they are doing lactic acid fermentation, so the pH value of the culture drops, and then it activates the bacteria L. So it's just one way for the bacteria L get benefit from bacteria S. But what about bacteria S gains the benefit from bacteria L? In this question, it doesn't give you that much information. So in the real case, bacteria L, they can digest a certain type of milk protein, release a particular type of amino acid, which is important, essential for the bacteria S. So it's a kind of nutrients for the bacteria S. That's how the bacteria S get the benefit from the bacteria L. The reason is that a kind of enzyme in bacteria S may not be that activate low pH environment. That's why the enzyme cannot work that well. However, it's okay. Bacteria L do this for you, digest the protein for you, provide the amino acid for you, and then bacteria S, I get the amino acid and then can live happily with bacteria L. For the last part, after we talk about the whole question, and one thing I would like to mention it again, is about when we are working on the paper 2 questions, it's really a way for us to do the revision for paper 1 as well at the same time. Because you can take a look at for the left hand side and right hand side is part A and part B question. I'm going to count how many marks are really involved in the hard knowledge of this chapter, this module. Elective 3, only 2 questions. The first sub-question is part A2. Compare the data. The data is about the optical density. So that's something you really need to learn in this module about the optical density or the turbidity of the sample. 4 marks. Apart from the spread plate method, so any other method. So that's something we really need to learn in this module. However, for the other sub-questions, experiment design, drawing conclusion, something like this. So you can see that for the total 20 marks, only 6 marks are highly related to the elective 3 module, the concept, the principle. And for the other 40 marks, you are able to do it because all of them is related to the core skills, investigation skills, data analysis skills. Therefore, you can do all the questions of the paper 2. Maybe you can skip part A2 or part B4. But for the whole question, it's really worthy to do it. Any question, leave it in the comment section. I will answer you as soon as possible. See you in next video. Bye bye.